Ronitt Rubinfeld. And I would love for her to get the awards that she really deserves. She started working with me and on program checking. The program checking where you write an algorithm to do something, and I was trying to convince people to check your work. That's what you were taught when you went to school. You do some arithmetic, check your work. But nobody was saying how to check your work, especially when it came to writing programs. So I did that with Ronitt. We looked at, you know what it means to sort a string numbers. You have a set of numbers, and sorting means to arrange them from the largest down to the smallest.
Yes.
To order them. And normally this requires a lot of computation. This is n elements, takes n log n steps. Well, it turns out that people who wrote these sorting algorithms, and in fact people are still writing these sorting algorithms, they invariably write into their program a checker. Namely, after their program has generated this ordered list, they run through and make sure it's really in order. Makes sense, right? One thing that was missing from that is you also have to check that the elements you get are the same that you started with. But that can also be done in essentially linear time. So you can check and make sure that if there's an error, you'll discover it. So people put in these checkers, and then when they finally had their program written, they would take the checker out. And I was trying to tell people, don't do that, don't take it out. The sorting algorithm takes a lot of steps, n log n steps. The actual checking is just linear. It's unnoticeable. I don't know if that's a word. Unnoticeable in the computation. Why take it out? Just leave it in. And I have on occasion, with some programs I've written, been surprised to suddenly discover that the checker screams that there's been an error, where I would never have expected it. And so this was basically what I was trying to do when with Ronitt, and Ronitt went further in a very good direction. So for checking, sometimes what you want to do is just sample the data to make sure that you're in the right ballpark. So what Ronitt did is said, look, this business of sampling can be, you don't have to look at all the data, just a very small amount of it. You can work in sublinear time. So this whole field of sublinear computation is Ronitt's thesis, Ronitt's area. She's absolutely fantastic, and it's a wonderful field that she started.
So you could look
there.
in a sub area, and it was a proxy for
You could
whole other areas of code, so you could check it.
So the idea, I guess part of checking is to make sure that your answer makes sense, right? That you're told, well, make sure at least it makes sense. That's essentially what she was doing. She was coming up with a theory of how to make sure it makes sense, and in fact, even sometimes how to do the computation you want. Once you can do that, you can do the computation sometimes without looking at all the data, and that's her sublinear computation.